Lane is about to go get a core of a bale of hay. When we bale hay, we have usually part of a bale left, and we call that the core, the center part where it starts rolling up. So we have a couple of those laying in the yard from when we baled hay. He's about to take at least one of those back to the cows and just see if they're hungry. We really don't know. It's so very dry here. That's part of why that fire started. It's just, we haven't had rain in a while. And dry means the grass isn't doing well. So we are praying for rain. Pray with us. We had a shower, pretty much a thunderstorm, go right around us a couple days ago. We were hoping it was going to hit us, but that's just how it is here. In the spring, it just rains and rains and rains and rains and won't quit. And then in the summer, it just, one day it just turns off, and that's the end of it. And we're in that period. The grass is crunchy and dry, and there's just not new growth coming up. But a good rain or two, and we could be back in business. So we're just hoping that the cows can make it through this without us having to sell a bunch of the herd. And that's just where we are. Okay, thankfully they're not just rushing to the hay, so that means they're not starving. We're just trying to make it through this. We know rain will come soon, but we're just hoping we can hold out. We just want the cows to be getting enough to eat. They're just right behind this camera. They're slowly drifting over there, but by no means do they act starved. So I'm super thankful for that. And that brings me to another point. You might have noticed that's a pretty small group. And I want to show you our new bull and kind of tell you why there's so few cows in this pasture. Hey, big boy. Hey, big boy. Man, you're so friendly. You're so friendly. Can I pet you? Can I pet you? One of the best things about him, this is our new registered South Pole bull. He's super friendly. I'm not afraid of him, and I love having bulls on the farm that I don't have to worry about getting me or the kids or Ben when we're trying to work with them. And he is just about as tame as they come, which is one of the traits that they've developed and bred into the South Pole breed. And in fact, if there's any that are kind of high-headed and crazy, they most likely won't stick around, because most people that are raising this breed don't want that, and so they've bred that out of their herds. And if you go to like a registered sale, they're pretty much not going to be accepted. So I'm really thankful to have him, and that he is so tame. And back to why this is such a small group. The kids and I worked. It's 100 degrees here, but it's just farm working time. It's summer, and it's time to get some things done. It's also time to put bulls in with your cows. All of this plays together, and we had to work cows yesterday. So the kids and I worked cows. I was gonna film, but it was just so hot and miserable that we were just out to just get it done as quick as possible. So we have our South Pole cows and heifers in this group, and all of these are with our new registered South Pole bull. He's young, if you notice that he's kind of small. So we kept back also some smaller cows that we think he can breed, because you have to take that into consideration if your bull is tall enough to breed your cows. And with him being on the smaller side, because he's not full grown, and because South Poles are shorter and lighter, you have to take that into consideration, or you're probably going to have open cows. Also out here is a whole group of 22 heifers that we kept back from our own calves that we've raised up. And now a lot of them are bred from AI, artificial insemination, but those that are not, we're hoping he can take care of. This is a small group because he's young, and we don't want to stress him out trying to breed 50 cows or something. So he's in here with a small number, and hopefully that's going to go well. And then we're going to go over and see the rest of them as well, the rest of the group, and what our plans are for them. So we have the majority of our cows in this paddock next to the group that's with the new bull. We have our property. It's a long, about 100-acre field. It is split in half by a permanent hot wire, and then we just move paddocks by connecting to the existing permanent hot wires and just move them down the field like that. So now we have 2 separate groups of cows on 2 separate sides of the field that they're getting big portions of the field right now because they have to have shade in this heat. They can't stand out in the sun all day long, especially because we do have a large number of black cows and they just don't do as well in the heat as the red ones. So that's the purpose of that, but they're on opposite sides of the permanent hot wire down the middle. Our hot wire is very hot, so it does a really good job of keeping animals where they are supposed to be. It's not 100% foolproof. In fact, we had 2 jump over yesterday, but that is rare and few and far between. So this other group, the biggest group, is over here, and they're gonna be with our other South Pole bull, Bruce, who we've had for a couple years now. We drove up near Kansas City, I believe, and got him. So if we put our bulls in, which we've done the last couple years on July 4th or right about there, you will start calving around April 12th or so. If you would have put your bull in back in early to mid-May, you're talking about calving in February. Here in Arkansas, some of our nastiest winter weather months are January and then February. February can be literally the nastiest month of the year here. Cold, really, you know, snowy and a lot of ice and things like that. And so we just went to a grazing conference a few years ago and they suggested, hey, what if you wait and put your bulls in around July 4th? And it just was crazy to us. We'd never heard of that. We didn't know of people doing that. And it just felt like we were kind of like taking a risk, because once you push your calving window out, like once we tried it the first year and pushed our calving to April, it's really hard to back that up. You're kind of gonna have to go forward rather than backward, if that makes sense. You're gonna have to keep getting later and later until you get back around to early spring if you ever wanna change it back. Now there is ways to get them bred right off the bat, if you can do that and move it back a little bit, but it is not a quick thing. So we tried it. We thought, you know, what do we have to lose? Because we were losing calves in the ice and just in the cold spring rains and things like that. We were having trouble. And so we tried it, and guys, it has been amazing. I don't see us going back. In fact, just yesterday when we were working cows and splitting everybody up, I was looking at some paperwork because I try to take good notes and keep up with who's had what calf and everything. And this year, are you ready for the percentage of calves we have lost? 0. That's right, 0. It's so awesome. Now, it doesn't always work out that way. You can do everything in your power to avoid bad weather, and you could still get in bad weather. You can have heifers that have trouble calving because that just happens, all those things. But we have definitely and dramatically, by pushing our calving out a bit later, seen our numbers of fatalities of calves and ultimately cows drop dramatically. We're super pleased with it. I just wanted to tell you that and give you something to think about. It may not be something you'd ever want to do or is practical to your area, and you need to keep that in mind with any YouTube video you watch. Does this work for me and my situation and in the area in which I live? And around here, it is working for us. Now, we are by no means the ones that have the first calves drop on the ground in the spring, and sometimes that makes you feel a bit behind, but it is working out okay. So that's what's going on here. We need rain. We're having fires. We're having ponds dry up. We're having to water in places that normally they have ponds to lay in and drink out of and all those kinds of things. And so we need rain. Pray for us. So we're out here trying to get Bruce in, which is our South Pole bull, in with one of our groups of cows. But we got to try to get him out of the pennies and in with the cows without letting Ironman in, because we're going to be selling Ironman. We're just going to have totally South Pole bulls in with her cows this year. We're going to see how this goes, though, because Bruce runs away from you. Ironman's right in your back pocket, so don't know if this is going to work or not. Hey y'all, well, it is a different day. It's hot still in the south. This video I know has probably been kind of all over the place because originally this video started with the fire, and then we thought that was just going to be a short little story, so we filmed some cow stuff for you guys. Lo and behold, the pines wound up burning down. You can go back and check out that video. That's our last video before this one that came out. And so we took all this footage out of that video and thought we were going to be just putting this video up and probably offering Ironman for sale to somebody. He's a great bull. Super great temperament, and just he's been a good breeder for us. We got him and we take him. He's actually a black Hereford, but he has thrown a bunch of nice black baldy calves for us. He's just been a fantastic bull. But we were getting him up to move and possibly start the process of selling him either on here or on Facebook or somewhere, and realized he has a hurt foot. It's nothing major, but any slight limp in a herd bull is pretty much detrimental, because they have to be able to stand on their back 2 legs, and it's one of his back feet to breed cows. And if they're not just like a $10,000 bull, we've had this happen before and took them to the vet and spent hundreds of dollars only to find out there's not a whole lot they can do unless it's a really expensive bull, because you can do antibiotics and all that kind of stuff, but if they've hurt their foot, it's just, you're just taking a risk that it might just be a lost cause. So Ironman, sadly, is going to the sale barn. About to load Ironman up, as well as 4 heifers. To be honest with you guys, we'd like to keep these heifers, but one thing is they're not South Poles, and we're trying to transition to more South Pole cows and heifers. And another thing is, I don't know how to say it other than just to say it, it's hard times for farmers. So in order to pay the bills, sometimes you have to make the choice to sell animals, and that's what we're doing today. So this is actually our yard. It is so brown. The only reason there's grass there is because we haven't mowed it in forever. But you can see how dry, there's just dirt everywhere and brown. Our yard should be thriving at this point in the year. We have not had rain in weeks, hence the fire video. That's why the fire was as bad as it was. That's why it took off so easily. And it just takes money to make a farm run. I don't care if you're farming animals or if you're just mowing grass and selling hay. You have to have the things to make that run, and it's just hard times for farmers this summer. I'm gonna make a video on this, probably on the next video, because we've had a lot of comments on it. Making sure I don't run into a tree with the trailer following behind me. But so that's what we're doing. We're hauling a few heifers that we can spare, and just trying to make some spending cash to keep this farm rolling, because I truly believe, and I'm going to go into this more in the next video, but the farmers that went into this soaring prices with already struggling are going to have a really hard time making it. If you weren't doing fairly well going into all of these increase in prices, I hate to say it, but it's almost a death sentence for farmers. You're going to have to be able to sustain these hard times, and I'm just hoping that we can. So I'm in no way saying give up on your bull if they get a hurt foot or anything, but we were planning to sell this to an individual as a really good breeding herd bull, and we just can't do that. So that's our thinking, that's our reasoning. We're trying to do everything as above board and open and honest as possible, and I just don't want to take a chance medicating him and then selling him to someone and him not working out, because we've had that done to us before, and it's just not a good practice. It's not a good feeling. So we're about to get busy and get these cows to the sale barn, these heifers and this bull. And like I said, upcoming, I'm gonna be open, honest, real and raw on the next video about what's going on for not only us as farmers, but tons of farmers across the world, honestly. So stay tuned for that. And it's pretty exciting. Now we have 2 South Pole bulls. We should have lots of exciting news for the future of growing our South Pole herd. We want to take you guys along for that. I'll see you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching and being on this journey with us and just sticking with us all these years. We appreciate it. God bless.